All right, I want to welcome everyone to the last venue of this semester. We will be starting them up again once a month in the spring, so we look forward to having that. For those of you that have never been to a venue before, the venue was established in order for you to have a space to share your voice and share your talents. And so far, both of us have been extremely satisfied and extremely impressed with what we've seen. So it's become so big and so impressive that we are videoing it so that we can show what talent we have on this campus. So in order to recognize that and allow the videotape to work as best as possible, please make sure you use the mic so that you are projecting and they can hear you. Please make sure you start once you get up here. Don't start somewhere in the middle, but project and have fun with this. This is your space. Second thing that I ask is that everyone cuts off their cell phones right now. I want us to respect the performers because it takes a lot to get up here. Because of that, make sure that you're not playing on text messages, you're not playing on computers, that you're being respectful audiences, because people are coming up here and pulling at their hearts and pouring out their emotions. There are plenty of seats, so everybody make sure you sit down, relax. If for some reason you can't stay for the entire venue, please leave between performances so that you're not interrupting other people's performances. As always, let people feel how you react to their pieces. So always big applause, big emotion, and let's enjoy this. So right now, this is something that has been sponsored not only by the Intercultural Center, but also by the Forensic Squad. We are going to have a few forensics members do pieces. Today, if you've come to other venues, you see that I alternate through my forensic squad. Today, the MC is going to be Tiara Tyson. So Tiara Tyson is going to start out this venue with one of her pieces.
Hello. This is a part of the poetry that I did when I was in high school. So I'm just going to perform this little excerpt for you. When I strut across the room in my face beaming, eye gleaming, body screaming, sexy walk of mine, I know you see me. And when I slip onto my pelvic whirling, finger twirling, toe curling, right tight out of sight dress, I know you see me. And when I slip on my face beaming, eye gleaming, sexy smile of mine, I know you see me. But you best also see that I ain't no kissed you, dished you, ain't gonna miss your sister, so please, save the thank you, ma'am, for your mama. Up next, we have Elizabeth Smith performing a piece.
Alright, piece I'm gonna do I found while trolling the internet. It's called I Spit It. I spit it, tripping, rapping the words to be heard. My lyrical revolution, singular evolution of voices inside my head, begging for life instead of dead fixation, peaceful confrontation, boards, blogs, and Twitter, 140 character assassinations. I spit it, kicking paper through rhyme, later in lines, horizons of thoughts spewed at, not taught to teach, not preach. My intentions, my rage against this theological and political cage they place me in. I spit it, kiss it, make love, try not to miss it. Feelings rising, boisterous and chaotic like Poe and acid, and Walton choking on plastic. Mixing my disease with your political relief, or so you will have it. Segregate, deviate, separate, distort. My retort? I spit it, piss it, try to enlist the blood in me, white, Irish, Italian, Cherokee. I bleed to see my oppressor, a fine, sitting imitation successor, squirm. First black, then ginger base, denying life, liberty, pursuit of, but wait, it's all still hate. I spit it, hit it, slam my words against walls like a grenade, exploding in succession. I take out the pen, orchestrate against my oppression, radically, poetically, in common words like Thomas Paine, just try to be heard. And it's not like I don't understand your position, your egotistical, maniacal transition from what you know to who you blow. I get your opposition to me, whilst you drink wine forcefully with hostility and define my reality. But this is not chosen freely. I still have to be me. So, I spit it with opportunity, knocking out a breather, trying not to hyperventilate in the tsunami of anger and the effort not to regurgitate the same matches of equality. But it is the only thing I see, the difference between you and me in this land of the supposedly free. So I spit it, trip it, wrap it up in words to be heard, my lyrical revolution, singular evolution, the voices inside my head, begging for life and avoiding death.
All right, good job, Liz. Next, we have Michael Kelly with some poetry.
Okay, I'm going to do a couple of poems that I wrote. This first one's called Realize I'm Not. Everyone has that monkey on their back. I'm no different. The only difference is mine happens to be a mask. Now, some may say it's in the wrong, but I assure you it's in the right place. Just displays the wrong message on top of my face. One unpeeled banana hangs upside down between two earthworms and just below 2 leaves colored brown. No one hears what the figure says. They just go off the lines they read. Mocking when in reality is just a misunderstanding. There's a fire in the theater, the flames of which are fanning. Until the actor breaks character and comes to the light, at which point the audience assumes that they've all along been right. If only they were all bright. But what am I saying? No politician could ever understand my type. They just assume that it's extra hype. Actually not. Just cooked at a low flame for a slow burn, not nuked in the microwave after several separate turns. So whatever. You'll digest it anyway, while I sit here and wait patiently for my world's revelation day. And this other one's called After All This Time. Thank you. Is it really wrong that after all this time, the hatred I feel for him still lurks within my mind? Haven't seen hide nor hair of that little man's skin, nor heard of his whereabouts from any of my friends. And to think, it all started from a broken bracelet. Its remnants flung back at me, and he refused to pay for it. After meeting his folks, an ample dislike ensued. After every encounter was just a match to my shortened fuse. When they called my mom a witch, he took it to a whole nother level. I told him his mother was down below, burning with the devil. Everything changed after that particular exchange, and I vowed to knock the ever-loving crap out of his hollow-seeming frame. When I did during football, I felt like the best, for having driven my shoulder into his arrogant little chest. I left Georgia without return to apologize. In fact, I think I smiled when I remembered the tears in his eyes. What's really messed up is that I hated almost everyone in his family, and likewise, none of his people were a fan of me. Sometimes I really wonder if I should have been the bigger man, and instead of forcing a fist, simply offered an open hand. But the hatred within stirs like an itchy finger on the trigger, to the point that I say, I'll never reconcile with that. Still, I pray and hope that God won't be mad at me, or while I reflect on Nas's words, some beef is everlasting.
Well, I sure hope you ain't got no beef with me. So, next we have Mr. Frank D. What a story.
Hello, my name is Frank Dominguez, and this is my story, A Perfect Day. I remember the day I was told in 2 weeks I would no longer have a job. The day before that talk, they had all the lowly managers crowd into a conference room to make the announcement they would be weeding people out. Not in those words per se, but that was the gist of the meeting. When I left, I felt a knot twist in my stomach. I knew I was probably one of the weeds. Ever since my son had passed away, I was a zombie. I showed up for work and beat my head against the wall until it was time to go home. I sulked that first day of the news, but late into the evening it was as if I was in utero. My last day of work, I cleaned out my desk and took all of my belongings to my car. I wasn't bitter in the least. I was ready to be born again. They brought me into their office and gave me the news. I shook their hands, smiled, and walked into the sunlight refreshed. The car ride home seemed surreal, though. I drove past my street until I arrived at my son's grave. The gravel always kicked up at the cemetery quickly reminded me that I was no longer on paved roads. I got out of my handicapped van that could no longer serve its purpose ever since God had decided to take my boy away. Where a wheelchair used to sit, now only a giant space void of anything, vacant of life. I hunted around and felt shame because I did not find his tombstone right away. Great dad you are, I thought to myself. His was just under my grandparents' plot, 5 feet from the tree. I bent down and began to pray. I prayed to a God that was hard for me to believe in. I prayed because I did believe, but wondered whether he believed in me. When finished, I talked to the dirt as if my son could hear me. I just wanted to be close to him. I missed his cherub-like physique. He was plump and smiled, a raggedy-toothed grin all the time. We could go anywhere in the city and people were acquainted with him long before they were aware of who I was. My mom told me that he just had a better publicist. I got up from my knees and walked back to the van. When I arrived home, the house was empty, but Heather's pictures were still attached to the walls. I told myself that it was for the kids, but I doubt that was the truth. A portrait of her in a yellow dress seemed to light the room and it hurt my heart for a moment to think that I could still love her. Then as quick as it came, the anger overtook it in a flame. She left. She made her decision. Now it's your turn. I stepped onto the couch, emptied the frames, and started to sort through the Polaroids and 5x7s. I replaced every picture of her and even made the decision to take photos of my son down. I called my sister and asked if she could keep the kids a while longer into the evening so I could regain my composure. Eventually, I called her back and asked if she could keep the kids for the night. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't do drugs. However, I blacked out and woke up in the middle of the night on the wood floors in my living room. The VCR clock was the only light that shone in the darkness. Why do you still keep that thing? I thought in my groggy state. You don't even use it. The clock, I spoke to myself. 4 a.m. I picked myself up off the floor, aching. I sat down to piss because I didn't feel like standing, being so tired and all. I washed my hands under the cold water and splashed some on my face. I looked into the mirror and seen a raccoon staring back at me. Dark circles around my eyes and a crease from the plank. I must have been laying on. I laughed at myself and wished there was someone to share the story with. Instead, I sat in the dark and made some rigor decisions. I knew I could no longer mourn a life that was on furlough with God. I could only live for today and what was to come. My baby boy and girl were really all that kept me going, and they were still living. I loved them and knew that I needed to live. My mind played tug-of-war with my chubby seraph, as beautiful as the Sistine Chapel that I seen in the pictures. I knew I needed to let go. I needed to start my own renaissance. As a single parent, how could I wish for help from a deserter when I could help myself? I looked into the abyss that night and could see how my youngest son had changed when his mom had left. He had become blank, but over time he came to trust his daddy. I would always tell him, "You're a big boy. You can do it." It was my turn to do it. That day and night made all the difference. As I recollect, I can think of many instances that may have appeared better in emotion, but none were as significant as that day. It was my perfect day.
That was a good story. Anybody who's in the back, feel free. We have a lot of seats that are here in the front and in the second row that you can sit at. Up next, we have Fred with singing and poetry.
Hello. I'm going to do my poem first. If you don't mind. Okay. Summer times are warm. Winters are cold. My heart withered within me during the fall. Spring brings a smile to my face, bright as the sun. My head is filled with love songs from afar. As I daydream, leaping from cloud to cloud, my arms embrace a pure, warm, white light. Then jumping into the crystal blue ocean, as I swim to the shore, only to be covered in mist. I find there waiting for me only my reflection of this blissful person. What am I to say? I love you? Do I know you? Just let me be the free swan I'm supposed to be on the other side of the riverbed. This song is called by Billy Withers. This is my favorite song. It's Ain't No Sunshine. So, yes. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, when she's gone, when she's gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Wondering this time where she's gone. Wondering if she's gonna stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and this house just ain't no home anytime she goes away. And I know, hey, I'll leave the young thing alone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and this house just ain't no home anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away.
Just want to say I felt that. I was playing in the back. But you didn't see me. Up next, we have Shalisha with poetry.
Hello, my name is Shalisha. I'm a Virgo. Don't laugh, this is serious. I'm on the forensics team, and tonight I'm going to do a collection of programs that inspired me to be a better parent. I hope you enjoy it like I do. Ryan, I see you. Mother Nature played a funny little joke on me. Placed me directly into a household full of kooks. My most treasured memories are of my mom cooking mac and cheese at midnight while blaring, "Don't stop, believe it, hold on to that feeling," by Journey. Oh, and the one where we built a snowman that tilted slightly to the side. Well, so my parents placed empty beer bottles around the base so that he appeared truly tipsy. Role reversal involves an exploitative relationship in which the parent ignores the child's developmental needs. Child, I hope I could quiet all your questions, tell you the exact number of stars in the sky, show you where the moon goes at sunrise. I wish I could temper your fear of goodbyes. I wish I could give you one morning worth rising for. Family psychologist Salvador Minuchin identified in some households what he believed the parent-child boundary dissolution, or a lack of acknowledgement between the separateness between self and other. It was also Minuchin's belief that once parent and child reached this boundary, that a role reversal would occur, where the child would take on the role of the parent. In the short story Don't Stop Believing by Aubrey Gabner, the article Implications of Parent-Child Boundary Dissolution by Patricia Caring, the poetry Apology to My Unborn by Bessie Igby, and the after-school special by Rachel McKibbins, a program on vicarious parenting. Every day, me walk up to your classroom and me not get so much as a halad. And me not on your little parent phone list, and me never ask any of your little classroom parties. So, if me daughter's artwork really scares you enough to accuse me of irresponsible parenting, well, in the words of me little neighbor boy, suck it. A parent engaged in role reversal may be ward to the child, but the relationship is not truly a supportive one because the parent's emotional needs are being met at the expense of the child. I pray that when you close your eyes, you can see through the only thing I have fit to pass down to you, this heart of a dreamer. I want you to be nothing like your mother, this woman you see trembling before each new day. I was assured that all the neighbors in the neighborhood dubbed us heathens. We were the family that lived in that house. As I thumb through the catalog of memories in my brain, there's always that one that stands out. I received a phone call one afternoon from my mother. I was 16 and had been living with my best friends and her parents. I moved out 3 months before. After the phone call, I headed directly towards my mother's home, the house in which I spent the better half of my life growing up. It was being gutted. Everything was in that house. The bank had finally foreclosed 2 years after my father went to the Texas penitentiary. My mother had slowly stopped making payments. A lifetime of memories was in that house. Thingamabobs, collections, memories, all of it carelessly stacked up upon cold, brittle, dead grass. F, your recommendations for a child psychologist, and F, your recommendations are called Child Protective Services, because me went straight to the source. Me said, Papa Jane, over here, girl, explain these drawings to me. And what she told me is far beyond what you're capable of teaching. That knew right then and there that me not the asshole in the situation. But sure, I'll explain her drawings to you. As you say, let me enlighten you. You see that right there? Them red clouds swirling around in the sky? Psh, them not red clouds. Them are all the roses that she threw up to heaven for all my friends that have passed away. And you see that where? Right there, that cat whose tail's been snapped off and claws nailed to the ground? Well, that right there is a cat whose tail's been snapped off and tail's nailed to the ground. But, you see that right there, that woman right there with the hole in her chest? That's me. See, me once made a mistake of telling her once how someone broke my heart. So now she keeps it in a special place where she won't even tell me where it is. Role reversal may take on different forms depending on the role that the child is asked to play. Parents may become related to the child as a peer, confidant, or friend, or they may even behave in a childlike way, turning to the child to act as a parenting figure. Hello? Hi. I was told that these things are supposed to be filled with all the good that a person did in their life. So I sat down when I was asked to give this speech and try to write down a list of things that she did in her life for me and my sister Ruth. Let's see. She didn't abandon us. That's good, I guess. We never starved while we were in the house. Even on the nights when she did decide to cook, we had to sit there and trick our gag reflexes into staying still long enough to make it through dinner. Oh, good old Beatrice. You know what? I can't do this anymore. And to be quite honest with you, that's really as far as I got on this list of good things. Now, I know this is not the appropriate place, but I cannot hold it in any longer. Beatrice, is it? Beatrice wasn't the type of woman that deserves one of these so-called life lies. I don't even like to refer to her as Mom. She robbed me of any chance that I could have had of a childhood, and for that, I cannot say that I am sorry that she is where she is now. And child, I hope you can forgive me of my quiet when I just can't find the words to speak. I hope my silences don't scare you, won't have you questioning your worth. I want you to like me, to know that there are times when I'll wrestle with the times when I just can't find the moments that shade my better intentions. Parent-child role reversal also is associated with depression, low self-esteem, anxiety, and due to cultural expectations that associated with caregiving, the feminine role, daughters may be particularly vulnerable to being pulled into the role of mother's little keeper. My mother was broken. That's the best way I can describe her emotional state. Fully cracked, shattered beneath piles of furniture, clothing, silverware, and books. I bent down, grasping a stuffed bear that I'd long since forgotten, wiped away his imaginary tears. I gently extended my free hand forward, clutching my mother's hand in mine, her age-worn fingers. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Thank you.
All right, up next we have Shawn with the spoken novel.
Appreciate it. Don't know how I'm going to follow that. Actually, I just wrote a quick poem as well. I'm going to read that. It's called When Been Misled. So much certainty, no one around. I drowned in the flames and fire, my true desire, staying alive. I tried to have hope, but I choked. From the blood-soaked sand to my true reality. As a boy, now a man. Still I stand, 'cause I plan to survive. Concentration distracted by the death of my life. I am scared, but I can't cry. Taking fire in the name of Allah, I ask why. Do we kill, maim, and destroy? Not a question of dedication. I volunteered for this. For this? Just then, RPGs and rain of hate-soaked shells. The pain intense, I fell. The swelling of shrapnel wounds, I know hell. United States American soldier, Corporal Culbertson. Oh well. Okay, and this right here is just a little brief description of a daily life. Opening my eyes slowly, slightly crusted from tears that had pooled on the tips of my eyelashes, like morning dew on grass blades. Intense rays of sun penetrated my pupils, causing instant paralysis in my extremities. Trying to gain my composure, sitting up slowly and methodically, the dry heat covered my body like a blanket. Feeling trapped, caged, shackled by the sauna effect taking a hold of my body and my senses. With each deep breath, I regain them. Rising to my feet, reality sets in. Like a crash test dummy, unable to brace for impact, I hit the wall. I'm still here. I am sure it was the first words I can mutter through dry, cracked lips. And the intense sting of sunburns covering a good portion of my flesh, rising to another day in my personal pursuit of a little game I began to play a few months ago called Staying Alive. Although this game was played without a restart button or colorful board full of twists and turns, this game was reality. This game was played with human life. The sounds of prayer emitting from the mosque brought me back to reality. Funny as it may seem, this became my security blanket during my first few months in country. Realizing these men were just boys, searching for approval from their God, gave me an appreciation for God over country. This is not a war between men. This is a war of religious freedoms, hopes, dreams, and the search for death with honor, regarding Allah higher than self. So can you find your true self?
I know we just had a class walk in, so if there's anyone that wants to perform, you'll come sign this real quick so I can get it to our MC.
All right, I just got to say, let's give it up one more time for putting us on knowledge today. All right.
We have lots of chairs.
And we do. We have lots of chairs up here for you to sit. Up next, we have Derrick, and he is singing for us today.
Hello. It's pretty cold in here, so I'm singing my coat. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks unto the Holy One. Give thanks, for he has given Jesus Christ, his Son. give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks unto the Holy One. Give thanks, for he has given Jesus Christ, his Son. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich, because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the blind say, I can see, and the lame say, I can walk, because of what the Lord has done for us. Let us all give thanks.
All right, and up next is Stanley Morgan with a song.
I'm gonna do Musique, Soul Child, Half Crazy. I never thought that we would ever be more than friends. Now I'm all confused, 'cause for you I have deeper feelings. We both thought it was cool to cross the line, and I was convinced that it would be alright. Now things are strange, nothing's the same, and really I just want my friend back. And my mind's gone half crazy, 'cause I can't leave you alone. And I'm wondering if it's worth me holding on. Said my mind's gone half crazy, 'cause I can't leave you alone. And I'm wondering if it's worth me holding on. I hate to walk away from you as if this never existed. 'Cause when we kissed, the moment after, I looked at you different. Lately I gotta watch what I say, 'cause you take things personal nowadays. You used to laugh, now you get mad. And really, I just want my friend back. If y'all know the song, go ahead, sing me on the chorus, y'all. Help me out, please. Okay. On half crazy, 'cause I can't leave you alone. And I'm wondering if it's worth me holding on. Said my mind's gone half crazy, 'cause I can't leave you alone. Wondering if it's worth we holding on. Oh, 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 yeah. What happened to the one I used to know? Oh, yeah, yeah. The one I used to laugh and joke with. The one I used to tell all my secrets. We used to chill and be down for whatever, whenever, together. Yeah, half crazy, 'cause I can't leave you alone. Said I'm wondering if it's worth me holding on. Said my mind's gone half crazy, 'cause I can't leave you alone. Said I'm wondering if it's worth me holding on.
I got a song. Cause my Christina with poetry.
Yeah, because I thought I was going to do some original, and then I was like, screw it, I'll do my prose. I am also on a forensics team, but not the one here at Kansas City. I'm from Texas. Don't boo and hiss, don't, yeah. Jerks. So I'm going to, Yeah, don't judge me. I'm going to do a little bit of Texas forensics for you guys, so not going to do the introduction. This is called Moving Day by Cindy Shupak. If that sounds familiar and you watch Sex and the City, there's a correlation there. So, anyway. It was 3 days before my 10-year high school reunion that my husband decided to tell me he might be gay. Well, he didn't know if he was gay because he had never had sex with another man, but he thought it was something he should try to figure out. And I think for Matt, the forever of wedding vows seems somewhat vague and idealistic, while 30-year mortgage seems surprisingly specific. So, after he was finished telling me, he said that he was so relieved to finally get this off his chest, he kind of wanted to have sex. With who? Well, needless to say, I wasn't in the mood. The next day, while I was at work, I spent the entire time looking for a therapist, something I had managed to avoid for a blissful and unexamined 30 years of life. And it turns out that my insurance company covers something called the Silver Group, where you can pay a $10 copayment and get all the therapy you want. Now, I realize that therapy is something you probably shouldn't try to skimp on, but I also realize that this is something I could be doing every week for the rest of my life, and so that could really add up. It turns out you get what you co-pay for. Because as I was sitting on the couch and waiting for Dr. Weissman to come in, I noticed two very disturbing things. One, her plants had lost the will to live. Not exactly the ringing endorsement for a therapist. And two, because of the extremely thin walls, you could hear the session right behind me. And it was this man, and he was sobbing, something about not liking his work, or maybe it was his wife. I mean, you couldn't tell exactly what he was saying, but it was enough to give you pause when it was your turn to talk. And my therapist, Dr. Weissman, entered, and she was a large Midwestern woman with bright red pants and a pink and white striped shirt. And I remember thinking, this woman can't put together an outfit. I mean, how is she going to put together the rest of my life? And she had all these questions that I hadn't really thought about before, like she said that there's no way, Matt couldn't have known about this before he proposed, and that I should demand that he be tested for AIDS, and that I should be tested for AIDS, and he just should have knew about this, and she just had all of this anger that we worked on during my session. And she didn't stop talking until it was over. The worst thing about my 10-year high school reunion in Tulsa, Oklahoma, besides the fact that it was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, was trying to pretend that everything was okay. Matt and I had decided to go together as we had originally planned, which I found preferable to just going by myself and then melting into one of those weepy heaps on the floor. But going back home meant that we had to stay with my parents. And staying with my parents meant that I had to try to avoid my mother and her whole eagle eye for emotion. So that's why I was caught completely off guard when it was my father who looked up from the ESPN to say, "Honey, is everything okay?" No! watching Sports Center with you instead of flipping through House Beautiful in the kitchen with Mom. You know, I hadn't intended on telling my dad anything. You know, I thought when I told my parents, I would go through the usual protocol. I would tell my mom, who would then tell my dad. Somehow, Matt and I made it through the weekend. But our landlord, Mr. Rothman, did not. And his funeral, it came as sort of a relief for me. No, not in the sense that I wanted him gone or anything. It's just, a funeral is a perfectly acceptable place to cry. And I'd been looking for one of those since Matt dropped his news. And the other thing about a funeral is there's a body, and there's a coffin, and there's this whole ritual which enables one to mourn. And the end of a relationship is never so clearly marked. Matt took my hand as they brought in the coffin. And then, because it was a Jewish funeral, a minyan was called for, and he was asked to go with the men. Well, I didn't want him to go with the men. I mean, he would be going with the men soon enough. But then I realized that this is a funeral. And he was needed, and so I said, go. And I realized that I meant it in the largest sense possible. Mrs. Rothman was in her garden the day the moving van was supposed to come for Matt's things. Mrs. Rothman had always loved her flowers, but she seemed extremely devoted to them now that Mr. Rothman was gone, you know, to make sure that nothing else slipped away. So it was difficult to tell her that Matt was slipping away and that I was letting him. She came to sit next to me on the park bench out in front of our apartment building. And she seemed so disappointed in young love and life and her wisteria. So we sat there, two women newly alone, and yet not alone, as the moving van lumbered over to the curb.
All right. Next we have Ronnie singing to us. Singing.
All right, first of all, I hope I don't offend nobody with this song, all right? Just one of my favorite songs. Lord, they really think they fooling you by coming to church on Sunday, praying and laying their hands on folks, stomping and jumping around, faking the Holy Ghost. But there's a thin line between walking it and talking it and giving it and living it, or just pretending it's all right. But do you really think you can pull the wool over their eyes, Lord? Or do you think by faking and shaking that they will get the same reward? This will be the realest thing I ever wrote. for sure. And after this, a lot of folks won't like me no more. But after this, I gotta go answer to your Lord. So I made up my mind, and I'ma go to church on Sunday and sing a song that might hurt somebody's feelings, so that maybe God will be done. Oh Lord, as it is in heaven, and hopefully they will see my being discouraged by a little old sinner like me. And Lord, who they think they jiving by singing these songs full of glory. Did it again. Sung the same verse again. I'm sorry, people, I'm done.
It was all good. It was all good. Oop, okay. Well, Stephanie is also going to sing us a song.
So I was riding in my car on the way here, and I found this CD that I hadn't listened to in ages. And on this CD was some Liza Minnelli. And that just really spoke to my heart. And I could really feel Liza all up and through here. And so I've decided I'm going to sing Liza Minnelli. It's a song called Maybe This Time. Like, it's only from the movie version of Cabaret, so you may have never heard it. Maybe this time I'll be lucky. Maybe this time he'll stay. Maybe this time, for the first time, love won't hurry away. He will hold me fast. I'll be home at last. Not a loser anymore, like the last time and the time before. There's a little musical interlude here, so I'm just gonna rock with it and listen to it, let it play out. Everybody loves a winner, so nobody loved me. Lady peaceful, lady happy, that's what I long to be. Well, all the odds are they're in my favor. Something's bound to begin. It's gonna happen sometime. Maybe this time I'll win. That was all the camera happening, because when she was singing it in the movie, it was coming back and forth and getting louder. All right, I'm done.
Yeah. I'm trying to just really read this. Fredrick Collins. Doo-doo. Okay, found you. Poetry.
Sorry, my handwriting is toe up. Okay. Sorry to really follow that, but I'm going to try. Okay. I'll be doing 2 poems today. First of all, I would like to give honor and glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And I'll be doing a poem first entitled The Gift of Understanding. I grew up as a young man with the weight of the world on his shoulders. But I guess this is what molded me to be a soldier, to keep pressing forward. See, this world is a war, and I'm sore from the battle. With each step I take, my bones are rattled, with nothing left for war but a bow and an arrow. But to be real, the real war is the ghetto, and my bow is my notebook, and my arrow is my pen, and with these weapons I aim for the fence, remembering back to the times when I wished I was on the other side of it, hoping that the grass would be greener, See, with my pen, I thought that I could bend the very fabric of time with thoughts and rhymes. And as I got older and I ran in my travel, I realized that books, they were the ammo that I loaded my other weapon with. And drugs, drugs, they were the gun smoke that burned my eyes and caused me to choke. See, there were different emotions for different seasons. I wanted relationships for all the wrong reasons. I was love for hire. See, I got so many jobs, but when I was fired, I hopped into a streetcar named Desire that took me to the boulevard of my very own dreams. But the future streetlights were so bright, I could barely see in front of me. But that's when I had my epiphany and I realized that the power, it doesn't belong to the rich, the wealthy, or even those in high positions. It belongs to those that have dreams they can envision. Walking along a path of bad choices and wrong decisions. Moving forward, staying on track, never looking back, seeing knowledge in faces and people and places and the way we interact. We need to just experience life. You know, gain wisdom and learn truth, and this will give you enough power to keep on your light. See, just recently my grandfather passed. But before he did, I think he wanted me to understand the seriousness of what I had in my grasp. See, as a young man, I carried the weight of the world on my shoulders. But now that I'm a veteran in the school of thought, I no longer carry the world. I just watch it from a distance as it turns and realize the power I possess, and I continue to learn. Okay, that's the end of the first one. And the second one is called She Was Shallow. And all the brothers that can relate, you know, just, you know, say what you got to say, you know. All right. This is called She Was Shallow. Wrote this my freshman year up here. She was shallow as a kiddie pool. Let me say that one more time. She was shallow as a kiddie pool. And people said I was a fool for pursuing her. See, people were talking down, trying to ruin her, but I wanted her because I thought that me and her were meant to be. I mean, even if she didn't want me. See, she had her pick of any man, but I can't seem to understand why she keeps trying to choose the wrong ones, trying to take a chance. See, she keeps choosing based on looks and everything material. See, and I'm not a bad-looking guy, but I hope you can see me for my lyrical, look past my physical, and one day see me for my spiritual. See, I just don't understand why she has to be like this. You know, is it because she was hurt and now this is the outcome of it? I mean, I think that the solution is that she just needs to be kissed until she lowers her standards. And then slowly she'll give me the answers I seek. And then after that, we could probably talk until we fall asleep. This is how I picture it should be. I guess I'll be sitting, wishing, waiting, praying until she notices me. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Amy is next performing poetry. Give it up.
I really wasn't going to do anything, but this is kind of a thank you for having us in the Intercultural Center. And when I got the email out today inviting everyone once again to be part of this, and then I saw that on Friday we're showing milk, I was like, oh, let's do a poem about milk. So here's kind of a tribute to milk, and you'll see what I'm saying. It's called Skeletons in the Closet. We are dying inside of our closets, hung by secrecy and locked lips. We are losing our rights in our living rooms via the evening news. See, we are a social circus once a year when we decide to show up with our eyeglasses on and our heads hidden just so that we can show pride for a day. We take this as a victory, when really it's just a morsel to keep our voices silent. We are dying inside of our closets. When the Senate floor lets Proposition 8 stand, and we don't take that as a stance to the streets, we are dying in our closets. When hate crime legislation is denied because Matthew Shepard was not killed, was not crucified, but on the plains of Wyoming instead was robbed to something that was then called a hoax, we are dying in our closets. If you don't believe we are dying in our closets, ask a mother who buries her 9-year-old son. Carl Joseph Hoover decided it was better to take his life than go to class once again and be called fag. We are dying in our closets. See, we lost our fearless leader 30 years ago to the Twinkie defense. And now we use the term Twinkie as a derogatory statement for anyone who is masculine, well, at least there, but feminine here. We are dying in our closets. Yet still we do not heed Harvey Milk's words. Burst down those closet doors once and for all. Stand up and fight. Do not mourn my death, but instead march in the streets. But still, we are dying in our closets with secret partners that we introduce as friends. See, for fear of social rejection, we reject ourselves. Hate crimes and protests stand as vigils for rights. Rights we do not deserve, as long as we are dying in our closets.
All right, Ryan Lewis with poetry.
All I want to know is, where did Krispy Kreme donuts come from? I mean, what sick man invented this? I see the signs every day because I'm in there every frickin' day. This black militia fellow once told me that Krispy Kremes used to be called Krispy Kreme croissants, just like the rest of their names, spelled with a K. Aha. K, K, K. They were started to keep the black man down and around. Once the revolution came back around, all the black men would be too tired and hungry to fight. Going through withdrawal symptoms, addicted to the KKK made to order glazed drugs. I mean donuts. But every day I see white people in Krispy Kreme because I'm in there every frickin' day. I even saw that black militia fella in there one time, so I think it was safe to say he was lying. All the same Krispy Kreme is still trying to do is kill me just like the KKK, the CIA, and the devil. Their stocks has jumped leap bound since they met me, or should I say since I met them on that cold, rainy night. It was love at first taste. Glaze melted in my mouth like a waffle from Roscoe's. And I remember thinking in Shakespearean, what freshest taste hath fallen beyond thy grace to thy mouth? They know me on the first name basis when I walk in. I'm like Norm from Cheers. Poetry! When I roll through the drive-thru, they know it's my voice. What's up, poetry? You want the usual? No, I don't want no usual. Okay, just give me the usual. I try to disguise my voice at times, and I think I'm pretty good at it. You should hear my Fat Albert voice. Hey, hey, hey! But they know it's me. Because I only do fat voices. It's not fair. I already have French fries to deal with. Now this, I must always fight the temptation of the creation of the perfect fattening food. Krispy Kreme. Don King.
All right. If we do have any new people in here, feel free to sign up if you would like. But our last performer is Michael Young with this guitar.
All right. Got a brand new one for you. This one is called Angels. All that I need, all that I wanted. And though you must leave, still my mind's haunted. And I can't find a reason why I'm stuck here in this place. And I can't find a reason, no, I can't find a trace. And I don't believe in miracles, and I've lost my sense of wonder. But I hope you know it's true. When I think of you, you make me believe in angels again. Know is real, it's so confusing. And I don't know life's meaning, and I don't know what lies beyond. But everything you believe in has always kept you strong. And I don't believe in miracles, and I've lost my sense of wonder. But I hope you know it's true. When I think of you, you make me believe in angels again. Don't believe in miracles, and I've lost my sense of wonder. But I hope you know it's true. When I think of you, you make me believe in angels. You make me believe in angels. You make me believe in angels again.
Enjoyed that. Okay, I'm too short. Remember, if you would like to perform once again, there is a sheet that is around, so feel free to sign. Up next, we have Elizabeth Smith with poetry.
Alright, I found this one trolling the internet as usual. And, I was so damn nervous the first time I forgot I even had it. It's called Spinning It. Spinning straight to all the peacemakers and the less negotiate, state to state, try to elucidate naysayers. This is our life you try to dictate, mediate, desecrate, and overstating propaganda pamphlets of lies while trying to watch how to live their lives on Gossip Girl and Desperate Housewives. We interrupt this program with violence at 5. It's all hypocrisy, apostasy dressed in black, swinging badge of religiosity. Defending a notion of superiority over mediocrity and casting lots of TV spots to places not your own. Throwing snows while smoking a bowl and shaking 2,000 years of bones. I just want to scream, God be damned, let me be me. Because we spend our sins just as you, put lives on the line, donate our time, giving nations in secret of pride, yet there you go to cast your vote without compassion or fraction of civility. You force others to live your reality, negating life, love, memory, and space with a push of a button, a finger in our face. You spin our direction with your obsession and overzealous need for oppression, and I have to ask, who is next? Will it be a repeat from saying she a century ago, Black Wire Indigo? Will it be newcomers with hopeful eyes questioning for a piece of American pie? Will it be the Muslim on bended knee thanking Allah for being free? The Buddhist, pagan, African, or Chinese? The short, the tall, the gray, the weak? You tell me while we continue to spin it straight.
Michael Kelly with a story.
This one's called The Murder of Writer's Block. It's weird. Okay. North Gwinnett was your typical school in a relatively well-to-do suburb of Atlanta. There were all the generic cliques with all the generic people. Then there was Writer's Block, the new kid. Some guy who moved from Walton County. If it wasn't his southern accent or unkempt self-image that drove most away, it was what he loved to do. He loved to stop any and everyone who loved to write by taking their ideas. No one knew how he did it, but somehow he was able. It just didn't make sense not being able to make fun of a pale, dirty southern kid who had few other ambitions but to rid the world of writing. But I wasn't worried. Until Monday morning in first period. Taking my usual route past the enormous cafeteria and several hallways, I reached my language arts class with no drama as usual. I was in a cheerful mood because it had been the first morning in which I hadn't fallen out of bed when the alarm clock went off. Slowly but surely, my classmates filed in, groaning about the unnecessary hour of having to be awake and harassing nerdy kid for homework to copy off of. My teacher, Mr. Moses, walked in with his usual greeting of, "What up, punks?" Then the pale, slender, mustache-wearing man flipped on the TV and assumed his preferred position of lying back in his giant chair, legs crossed on his desk. There were two awkwardly smiling figures on the TV, a tan, brown-haired boy with athletic build and a blonde girl who looked like a past version of Britney Spears. After shouting, "Good morning, Bulldogs!" the boy started speaking. "First off today, we'd like to welcome our newest student, Writer's Block, coming from Walton County up north." The girl then spoke in her ditzy dialect, bubblegum chewing. "So, we want to announce the winner of the Bulldog Bark writing competition. The winner, chosen by staff here at the school, will receive a $5,000 cash prize and, the opportunity to read their stuff in front of the entire schools at the Friday's assembly and stuff." "That's right. And the winner is E.B. Kelly with the poem As We Leave. Congrats, E.B. My heart dropped. I knew that Writer's Block was waiting for his target to appear, and now he'd found it. The rest of the day went just fine. The next day, as I walked to my last class, I stopped by the bathroom. As I was washing my hands, I suddenly felt as if something was off. I turned around and there he stood, Writer's Block. This guy was 6'5" with his usual unkempt garments barely hanging off a seemingly anorexic frame. His eyes glowed yellow, and though I wanted to move, I had the strangest feeling of paralysis. He approached slowly, each of his footsteps reverberating with an eerily heavy pound, inches away from me. I knew I was scared to no end, but I held my ground as best I could as he asked in his heavy accent, "You that writing boy, E.B. Kelly?" All I could mutter was, "Yes!" before he clutched me by my throat, pinned me against the wall. "You listen here, E.B. If you read that poem on Friday, it'll be the last poem you ever write. Am I understood?" After a simple nod, he dropped me to the floor and walked out. Sitting there holding my newly wrung neck, I wondered if there was any way to forfeit being the winner. True to the announcement, every person in the school showed up to the event. As I peeked from the curtains, I could vaguely make out the pale figure writer's block leaning next to the door, leading to the stage, obviously waiting for me to emerge. As the principal introduced me, I realized that this was do or die time. Either stand up and do it or hightail it into a corner. With every fiber of my being screaming, "Go!" I drew in a final breath and walked onto the stage. Before reading the first line, I glanced over at the door where writer's block stood, only to find him gone. Slowly, a sigh of relief. Just then, I heard footsteps coming toward me. I turned and jumped just in time as writer's block smashed the podium with a single blow. I stammered to my feet and ran as fast as I could off the stage and out of the theater, writer's block following closely behind. Turning the corner, I caught a glimpse of what writer's block had transformed into. A giant paper monster. His eyes were mere holes penciled on college-ruled paper. His entire body was compiled of paper version of all the great works never released to the public. A giant fist nearly flattened me seconds earlier had the most powerful literature. Unreleased poetry by Edgar Allan Poe. Unread speeches by Martin Luther King. The original version of A Tale of Two Cities. And a post-it note from God explaining in detail that the chicken actually came before the egg. As I ran with my hands covering my head, I wondered if this was it. Before I knew it, a crash in the left wall sent me flying into the opposing lockers on the other side. Lying in a heap, I tried to get up but was forced down under the writer's block's foot. Looked up to see the writer's block had pulled back his fist fully, prepared to strike. My life flashed before my eyes. Then writer's block drove his giant fist into, "Hold it, Michael!" interjected Amy. I want to give everyone else in the open mic venue a chance to perform. It's okay. I got writer's block at that point anyway.
All right, we have Roger Sucks with subs with poetry.
Hey, thank you. I definitely respect all the poets that do this. It's something, rap is a little different, but, we are connected. This is called Beautiful Demise. She was a believer and a deceiver that mentally, physically beat her. Everyday abuser in the name of love. The wild game of love, heartbroken, but she remained in love. House clean, spick and span, food on the table that will humble any man. This sucker was cold-hearted, loved to get stuff started. A gambler, a lawyer, money in the power. Office looking plush, got something for you. Nice spot. No kids, so he's King Kong on the throne, while his educated wife stays at home, all alone. But she's faithful, no pool boy blues, cause in her eyes, no man could walk in her shoes. Ever since high school, he stole her virginity. As she screamed in ecstasy, "You are my destiny." He smiled and said, "One day you'll be the mother of my child." That's when the scenario gets wild. You see, she was a child of 16, down low loving a man who was 33, who had enough knowledge to overpower a teen. With the right words and right touch, she will hush up. Slide her some figures to put on that figure. Quick, youth plus sex plus age plus money means a teenager that won't tell nothing. Father and mother had no idea that a sneaky, freaky lawyer was sneaking in from the rear. Fast forward to slaps and bloody lips and tears, suspended in time, cause she can never get back her years. Mama and daddy now disown her, plus he owns her. Every time she get the strength to leave, he phones her. Rip off her clothes, manhandle her, bones her. Bruises and black eyes, no one around home to help her realize. Now she's 26 years old, acting like her life is over, but it's just begun. Hubby comes home, epiphany. He said to himself, "I love you." Now she's stunned. He apologized for his mental and physical abuse and said, "From now on, you are my number one." She smiled and she says, "Here's your dinner and here's your remote." As they both shed tears of joy and hope, he closed his eyes. Blood begins to flow as the razor in him hit the floor. She sliced his throat. There was a knock on the door. Flowers, oh what a surprise. Pretty black roses she bought for herself. Beautiful demise. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming out. As soon as we figure out what dates we want to do, we'll get things set up for the spring. We hope to see you all out here again. Thanks.